Imagine this. Behind the glittering lights of Las Vegas and the fairy tale image the world adored, there's a whispered secret that has never truly faded. A family insider once hinted at a truth so shocking it could change the way we see one of the most famous love stories of all time. For decades, the rumors have circled like shadows around Graceland's gates. What really went on behind closed doors? And was there more to the story than anyone dared to admit? Stay with us because the answer might leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Elvis Presley's story is filled with glitter, fame, and an endless stream of rumors. But every now and then, someone from his own family steps forward with a perspective that shakes everything we thought we knew. One of those voices belongs to Danny Smith, Elvis's cousin, who grew up close to the king and saw things most fans could only dream of witnessing. When a family insider like Danny speaks, people tend to lean in a little closer because he wasn't just another face in the crowd. He was part of the Presley circle, a witness to both the glamour and the shadows behind it. Now picture this, May 1st, 1967, Las Vegas. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, and Priscilla Presley, the young woman who had captivated him since his days in Germany, stood before the world in one of the most glamorous celebrity weddings of its time. Cameras flashed, headlines blazed, and fans across the globe celebrated what looked like the perfect love story. But beneath the sequins and the spotlight, questions began to stir almost immediately. Why? Because exactly 9 months later, their daughter Lisa Marie Presley was born. To many, the timing seemed just a little too precise, fueling whispers that the wedding might not have been purely about romance. Was it really love that pushed Elvis to the altar? Or was there something else, something unspoken, that changed the course of history? That's the question that continues to echo through the decades, and the one that Danny Smith dares to address. It all began in Germany in 1959, when Elvis Presley was serving in the U.S. Army. At just 24 years old, he was already an international superstar, a man adored by millions, yet living a life far from the stage lights. It was there, in the quiet backdrop of his military posting, that he met a young girl named Priscilla Presley. She was only 14 at the time, wide-eyed, impressionable, and completely unprepared for the whirlwind that would come with being connected to the most famous entertainer in the world. From that very first encounter, their story became anything but ordinary. Despite the years and miles that separated them after Elvis returned to the United States, their connection didn't fade. Letters, phone calls, and rare visits kept the bond alive, even as Elvis's career exploded and his world grew more chaotic. By the time Priscilla was 17, she had been drawn completely into his orbit, moving into Graceland under carefully negotiated conditions set by her parents. She wasn't just a girlfriend anymore. She was stepping into a world where every move was scrutinized, where the rules weren't written for ordinary people, and where Elvis's fame dictated the rhythm of her days. Their relationship was unlike anything most people could imagine. On one hand, there was the glamour, Graceland, the adoration of fans, the glittering life of show business. But on the other, there was the reality, a teenager adapting to a household built around a man who lived under constant public pressure and who was often away, touring or making films. Questions of control, expectations, and the weight of public image hovered around them constantly. Priscilla was learning not just how to be with Elvis, but how to exist inside a life that wasn't really her own. And as the years passed, that pressure only grew heavier. The world expected a fairy tale ending, and whispers about where the relationship was heading never seemed to stop. Behind the closed doors of Graceland, decisions were being made, and forces were shaping their future in ways few outsiders could truly understand. The question remained, how long could this unusual arrangement last before something had to give? When the proposal finally came, it wasn't the sweeping, romantic gesture that many would expect from the king of rock and roll. According to Priscilla herself, Elvis simply showed her the ring one day and asked her to marry him. Without fanfare, without a grand moment, just a quiet question that carried enormous weight. For a couple who had been together for nearly 8 years, it might have felt inevitable. Yet the lack of ceremony around such a life-changing decision left room for curiosity and speculation. Was this truly the culmination of a love story, or was something else quietly pushing events forward? To the outside world, however, their wedding looked like a dream straight out of Hollywood. On May 1st, 1967, Elvis and Priscilla stood together in Las Vegas, surrounded by cameras, reporters, and all the glitter that accompanied one of the most famous couples of their generation. Fans around the globe marveled at the spectacle, seeing it as proof that fairy tales could come true, even for a man whose life seemed larger than life itself. The glamour was undeniable, and for a time, it seemed the perfect storybook ending. But that picture-perfect moment quickly took on another layer. Exactly 9 months later, Lisa Marie Presley, their only child, was born. To many, the timing felt a little too perfect, almost scripted, and whispers began to spread. Was the wedding planned out of pure devotion, or had something behind the scenes made the ceremony more urgent than it appeared? The speculation wasn't whispered quietly. It became a talking point that shadowed their marriage from the very beginning. As those whispers grew louder, the narrative around Elvis and Priscilla's wedding began to change. What once looked like a carefully crafted fairy tale was now under suspicion. Some wondered if the king had been racing against time, pressured to act quickly to preserve his carefully cultivated image. Was it love, duty, or the looming threat of scandal that ultimately drove him to say, "I do"? It's a question that continues to stir curiosity to this very day. Years later, the whispers that had long haunted Elvis and Priscilla's wedding gained new life when Danny Smith, Elvis's cousin, stepped forward with his own perspective. When asked point blank whether he believed the rumors, Danny didn't hesitate. His answer was simple, direct, and startling. "My answer is definitely yes. I think she was pregnant." Coming from someone inside the Presley family, those words carried more weight than idle speculation, and they reopened a chapter many thought had been closed. Danny's reasoning wasn't built on guesswork alone. Growing up around Graceland, he witnessed the Presley household in a way outsiders never could. He heard the conversations, picked up on the subtle cues, and absorbed the talk that circulated within the family. To him, the story was pretty much known through what others had said and what he himself had observed. It wasn't just rumor to Danny, it was a reality that shaped how he viewed the marriage from the very beginning. But perhaps the most striking part of his revelation wasn't about the pregnancy at all. It was about Elvis himself. Danny shared his belief that Elvis never truly wanted to marry anyone, that the king felt pressured into making a decision he might not have chosen freely. This paints the wedding in an entirely different light, turning what looked like a fairy tale into a possible obligation. And it leaves us all asking the same unsettling question. Was this union really about love, or was it something else entirely? Decades after their whirlwind romance and highly publicized wedding, the fascination with Elvis and Priscilla Presley's marriage shows no signs of fading. Fans, historians, and casual onlookers alike continue to revisit their story, searching for hidden truths and untold details. Their relationship wasn't just a private bond. It became a symbol, a cultural touchstone that people still dissect today. The idea that there might have been more to their marriage than meets the eye has only deepened the intrigue, keeping their names etched in headlines long after the music stopped. Part of the reason the speculation never dies is the way pop culture continues to reimagine their lives. Baz Luhrmann's dazzling Elvis biopic brought the King's world to a new generation, while Sofia Coppola's film Priscilla peeled back the curtain on her side of the story. Each portrayal adds another layer to the legend, blending fact with creative interpretation. These films don't just retell events, they stir up old debates, reigniting questions about what really happened and what was carefully crafted for public eyes. And yet, even beyond Hollywood, the Presley legacy feels too big, too mythic, to ever be pinned down to simple truths. Elvis wasn't just a man, he was a phenomenon. Priscilla wasn't just his partner, she was part of a story that seemed scripted for the ages. When a love story grows to such epic proportions, speculation becomes inevitable. Every rumor, every whisper feels possible, because when it comes to Elvis Presley, even the truth has the aura of legend. As the years roll on, one question continues to hover like a shadow over Elvis and Priscilla's union. Was their marriage truly born from love, or was it sealed under the weight of circumstances no one wanted to admit? The timing of events has kept fans wondering, and the whispers have never fully disappeared. Every photograph from their wedding day, every retelling of their story, carries with it that lingering question. Did an unexpected twist of fate push Elvis Presley toward the altar? Danny Smith's words reignited this conversation with a force that couldn't be ignored. As someone who grew up inside the Presley circle, his opinion isn't dismissed as easily as tabloid gossip. Yet despite his conviction, the Presleys themselves never confirmed nor denied the story. They let the speculation breathe, allowing fans and critics alike to form their own conclusions. That silence, deliberate or not, only fueled the fire, making the mystery even harder to untangle. And maybe that's the way it was always meant to be. In the world of Elvis Presley, fact and myth blur together until they are nearly indistinguishable. The King's life was never ordinary, and neither was his love story. Perhaps the answer to the question doesn't lie in documents or interviews, but in the enduring fascination that keeps us guessing to this day. After all, when it comes to Elvis Presley, even the truth feels like legend. If you've enjoyed diving into this story and want more untold secrets from Elvis's world, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss what's coming next. Give this video a like if you found it intriguing, and most importantly, share your own thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this was a love story written in the stars, or something far more complicated? Your opinions help keep the conversation alive, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say.